This is the lesson for R-3. All right, what we're doing today is we are reviewing solving equations. So remember, when you solve any equation, your goal is to get the letter all by itself. You have to do that by doing the opposite operation to solve it. Whatever you do to one side of the equal sign, you have to do to the other side of the equal sign. So 1 through 4 here are all one-step equations. We have a minus 3.4 equals negative 7.2. The opposite of minus 3.4 is to add 3.4 to both sides. When you do that, these 3.4s cancel out. Bring down your letter, bring down your equal sign. Negative 7.2 plus 3.4 is negative 3.8. In number 2, b plus 8, we want to get the b all by itself. So we want to get rid of that plus 8 by doing minus 8 and minus 8. Those 8s will cancel out. So we have b equals, when you do negative 12 minus 8, you get negative 20. In number 3, when a number is next to a letter like this, this means to multiply. So this is negative 12 times x. The opposite of times is to divide. So we want to divide by negative 12 and divide by negative 12. Those negative 12s cancel out. Bring down your x, bring down your equal sign. Always do top divided by bottom. Negative 36 divided by negative 12, a negative divided by a negative is a positive. You get 3 as your answer. In number 4, this says x divided by 2. The opposite of divided by 2 would be to multiply by 2. So we want to do times 2 and times 2. 14 times 2 is 28. So these were all one-step equations. You just want to do the opposite operation to solve. The next type are two-step equations. In a two-step equation, you want to get rid of the plus whatever or minus whatever first, and then it'll turn into a one-step equation like we just had. So in number 5, we have 3x minus 4 equals 26. Well, the opposite of minus 4 is plus 4 and plus 4. Again, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. Those 4s cancel out. So we have 3x equals 30. Divide by 3, divide by 3, and we get x equals 10. In number 6, this time we have a plus 3. We get rid of a plus 3 by doing minus 3 and minus 3. Always get rid of the plus whatever or minus whatever first. So bring down our 8a, bring down our equal sign. So negative 12.2 minus 3 is negative 15.2. Divide by 8, divide by 8. You are going to get some decimal answers today. You get a equals negative 1.9. In question number 7, this has dividing at the beginning, where the number 5 and number 6 had multiplying with the 3x and the 8a. This has dividing at the beginning. You're going to solve it the same way. Always get rid of the plus whatever or minus whatever first. So we're going to do minus 5 and minus 5. Those 5s cancel out. So we have c divided by 9 equals negative 36 when you subtract. This says c divided by 9. The opposite of divide by is to multiply by. So we want to do times 9 and times 9. Those 9s cancel out. Negative 36 times 9 is negative 324. Sometimes they're going to try and trick you by writing the problems backwards, like number 8 is. If you don't like that the equals 15 is at the beginning of the problem, we could always rewrite it and put the minus 15 at the end of the problem if you wanted to. But you shouldn't have to. You should just be able to solve it how it is. We want to get this. Our goal is still the same. We want to get the letter all by itself. So we want to get that 2x all by itself. We do that by doing minus 3 and minus 3. So 12 equals 2x. Divide by 2, divide by 2, and you get 6 equals x, or x equals 6, either way. So again, in a two-step equation, we always want to get rid of the plus whatever or minus whatever first. In 9 through 11, what we have is the distributive property. When you have the distributive property, you want to multiply the number outside the parentheses by everything inside the parentheses. So when you have a fraction like this 1/2, anytime that you have a fraction, we want to change it into a decimal first. We change that fraction into a decimal by doing the top number divided by the bottom number. So here we would do 1 divided by 2. 1 divided by 2 is 0.5. So that's really the number that we have outside the parentheses. And now we want to take that and multiply it by everything inside the parentheses. So we want to distribute and distribute. 0.5 times 10y is 5y. 0.5 times 4 is 2. Bring down your equals 17. Now all you have is another two-step equation, just like we solved on the previous slide. So we always want to get rid of the plus whatever or minus whatever first. So we have 5y equals 15. Divide by 5, divide by 5, and we get y equals 3. In question number 10, be very, very careful with negatives. Distribute, distribute. We want to distribute with that -5. So -5 times -3 is a positive 15. -5, now there's really a 1. Anytime that you have a letter all by itself, remember that there's really a 1 in front of it. So -5 times -1 is a positive 5x or plus 5x equals 10. And then we just have another two-step equation. So -15 minus 15. So 5x equals -5. Divide by 5, divide by 5. And you get x equals -1. Again, number 11, same exact type of problem. All right, you want to distribute and distribute. So 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times -7 is -21. But when we write it, we're going to write -21 equals 9. Plus 21 plus 21 to get that 6x all by itself. So we have 6x equals 30. Divide by 6, divide by 6, and you get x equals 5 as your answer. So those were distributive property. You want to take what's outside and multiply by everything inside. The next type of problem is combining like terms. Remember, you can only add together letters that are the same. You can only add together x's with x's, y's with y's, plain numbers with plain numbers. So we can add together, these are on the same side of the equal sign. So we can add together our 3x and our 4x first. 3x plus 4x is 7x. Bring down your equals 21. Divide by 7, divide by 7, and you get x equals 3. In this one, you could end up having questions today that you add together 3 letters of all the same. We can add together our -7x, our -8x, and our -9x. -7 plus -8 plus -9 gives you -24x. Now, notice that I did not add it together with the 12. You can't add together x's and plain numbers. So all that we're going to do with that plus 12 is just bring it down. Bring down your equals sign. Bring down your 36. Now you just have another two-step equation. -12 to get that -24x all by itself. 36 minus 12 is 24. Divide by -24. Divide by -24. 24 divided by -24 is -1. So again, you can only add together letters that are on the same side of the equal sign. Make sure that you look at the sign that's in front of them. The last kind of problem that we're looking at today have variables. Remember, a variable is just a letter. We have variables on both sides of the equal sign. Notice that we have a 12y on one side and a 9y on the other side. What you want to do with variables on both sides is get all the letters onto one side first by adding or subtracting them. If it's a positive letter, you want to subtract it from both sides. If it's a negative letter, you want to add it to both sides. What you can't do this. These letters are on the same side of the equal sign. We can't do that to be 21y. All right, that is not the way that this problem is solved. All right, these are on different sides of the equal sign. We need to get all the letters onto one side first by adding or subtracting the letters. I always like to work with the smaller of the two letters first. So you do have your choice. You could do minus 12y and minus 12y, but I'm going to do minus 9y and minus 9y. Those 9y's cancel out. So you have 3y plus 3 equals, be very, very careful right here. Notice that we're not bringing down a 15. We're bringing down a negative 15 because of the minus sign in front of it. Now you just have another two-step equation. Minus 3 minus 3. So 3y equals negative 18. Divide by 3, and you get y equals negative 6. On this one, we have a negative 2x on one side, and we have a positive 10x on the other. Again, you do have your choice on how you want to solve it. What I like to do is work with the smaller of the two letters first. I'm going to move this negative 2x by doing plus 2x and plus 2x to both sides. That way, those cancel out. So you have 6 equals 12x plus 30. That's just a two-step equation now. It's just written backwards. Minus 30 minus 30. So we have negative 24 equals 12x. Divide by 12, and you have negative 2 equals x. In this last one, remember that anytime that you have a letter all by itself, remember that there's really a 1 in front of it. So that's really a plus 1x at the end. Again, you have your choice. You could subtract 2x from both sides, or you could subtract 1x from both sides. I like working with the smaller of the two letters first. So we have 1x plus 7 equals 12, minus 7 minus 7. So we have 1x equals 5, divide by 1, and you get x equals 5. So we're just doing the first part of solving equations today. We're just going up to variables on both sides. This is all from chapter 2 that we did at the beginning of the year.